Today we are talking about a very serious topic, because if you mess up your room insulation like the previous owner did, then you get problems like this. And like this. So follow me in today's video where I explain this one but crucial mistake, so you won't have to replace your entire roof. But as always, let's start from the beginning. Hello everybody, my name is Jamie and I just bought this beautiful home in the north of Belgium.
The house is almost 100 years old and has been neglected for at least a year. The basement is completely flooded, the roof is falling down, and the interior design was last updated before I was born. And the owner, well, he just left a lot of stuff. But behind all of that, there is a solid foundation, and the guy that spent lots of time watching other renovation and is now coping with the Dunning-Kruger effect.
As you might expect, as with any room in this place, it was completely full of stuff which I first needed to clean. They even left this old kitchen here, which for sure I will use in some place. But that's not the reason why you clicked on this video. You clicked on this video in order to know what they messed up with the roof insulation. So before showing you all the cleaning and all the other stuff that I did, let me first show you what happened with the roof. As you already saw in the intro, the wood paneling that was over here was completely falling down. I've since removed it in order to inspect the roof entirely. And unfortunately, I have found some structural damages. Now these damages, they are not here because the roof is very old. Neither are they here because of some neglect. No, they are here because the previous owner made a mistake. The mistake that he made was insulating this roof. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not against insulating. For sure, in this entire building, I will insulate the heck out of it, because I ain't spending a lot of money on heating. However, when you insulate, you need to do this properly. The thing that the previous owner did wrong was insulating without a vapor-proof barrier. And I will explain you why this is so important and what happens if you don't do it. Each time when you're doing the dishes or when you're cooking, taking a shower, even when the only thing you're doing is breathing, moisture is getting into the air. In order to explain what happens with all of this moisture in the air, we need a little bit of science. And I will be using this whiteboard that I found lying over here. As you can see, it's Coca-Cola, but sadly they have not sponsored me yet. The air around us is actually a mixture of gases. It's mostly nitrogen, oxygen, but it also holds some water. This water is important to understand the moisture problem. One crucial thing to understand is that warm air can hold more water than cold air, which we can show in the following graph. Air of 20 degrees centigrade, which is around normal room temperature, can hold up to 40 grams of water in each kilogram of air. However, colder air, let's say 0 degrees, can only hold up to 4 grams of water in each kilogram. Now this is important to understand because our house is normally heated, meaning that during the winter, the air inside of the house is warmer than outside. Of course, hot air is rising. So all of this warm air with moisture is going to our roof and is trying to escape to the outside. If it's coming outside, it of course cools down. But this colder air cannot maintain all of this moisture. So the only thing that can happen is condensation. And condensation will stay within the roof construction. My roof construction looks a little bit like this. Over here we have some beams, and on top of that there is some sheeting, and on top of that there is my roof panels. Now what the previous owner did was filling all of this with insulation and blocking this side with more wood panels. So what happened is the following. Air of 20 degrees centigrade with a lot of moisture was going through the wood panels on the inside and through the insulation. And then here, when it made contact on the outside, it was cooling down, condensating, and all of this condense stayed on the inside of my roof. Meaning that these beams, this insulation, and my wood paneling over there were obviously completely wet and started rotting. There is, however, a very easy solution to this, which is installing a vapor barrier. This vapor barrier will be on the inside of the house, and it will block all of the water damp trying to escape. So all of this moisture will stay inside of the house, and only the air will cool down on this side. Since this area is still heated, there will be no condensation and my roof will stay intact. Now the only thing left to do before the roofer can come inspect the roof, make his invoice and then restore everything is throwing all of this stuff out of the window. Throwing everything out of the window was quite fun. Moving everything towards it a little bit less so. But in the past videos you have already seen me cleaning way too much. So in this one I'm not going to bore you with it. But don't click away though, because there is still something important to explain about roof insulation. But before that, I quickly want to explain where I got the wood that I used for building the shelving in my last video. It's probably not a surprise to you, but of course it came from the attic. And I know, it's not the correct wood for shelving, but hey, it was free and it was too big to throw out of the window anyway. So I will start measuring, cutting, and hey, here is my completely free and recycled shelving. Now, back to the whiteboard, because I still have a bit more to explain. The construction type of the roof that I had over here is called a cold roof. It's a very typical roof construction when you want to insulate your roof afterwards, once it's already built. It's very cheap to insulate this way, and constructionally it is sound, but it has some other problems. Of course, as you can see here, the insulation is put from the inside, and using this vapor membrane, no vapor can escape, and so no moisture can condense within the construction parts, and your roof is still intact. However, the big problem that it has is that over here, these constructional beams, they are not insulated. So they will always be a little bit cold. Furthermore, the constructional part of your roof is not insulated in general. That's why they call it a cold roof, because all of the constructional parts are at the same temperature as outside. It is constructionally sound and you can do it like this. And if I had the option to do it, I would do it because it's a lot cheaper and I can do it myself. However, since now these beams and all of this wood over here has been rotten because of this bad installation, I need to go for another approach. Since my roof will be completely reinstalled by roofers, I directly decided to go for the best option, which is called a warm roof. In a warm roof, the insulation is put on the outside. And because of that, the entire construction part of the roof will stay warm, so there is no possibility at all for any condensation. Of course, this method is a lot more expensive, because first of all, it's very complicated to do it yourself, and secondly, it requires you to take off the entire roof that was there and to rebuild it again. So normally when you're doing renovations and your roof is intact, I would suggest to go for the cold roof because you can do it yourself. However, if, as in my case, they installed it badly without this vapor membrane, then you already need to reinstall your entire roof, then directly go for the best option and you will be set for another 50 years. Now I still need to clean up all of this mess, but that will be done off camera. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.